On today's Minute of the Apes, I've been wearing compression underwear since 8 o'clock this morning.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time, and I also try to get the image of Richard wearing compression underwear out of my mind. I'm Todd, Richard, and Sean. How are you guys today?
All right.
I'm a little swampy.
It's been a long week for you.
All right, so we are into Wednesday, the third minute of this week. Sean, do you want to tell us what's going on before we listen to our clip?
I'm going to start minute 8 with Brent saying, "A bend in time," and ends with Skipper saying, "Oh my God."
All right, so that's it. Let's take a listen real quick.
A bend in time. I don't know what planet we're on, but the fact is, we're both of us here. We're breathing, we're conscious, we got plenty of oxygen, water. Here. Now we're gonna be all right, Skipper. We're gonna be all right. As soon as you feel better, we'll run a navigational estimate. God, if I could only see the sun. It's up there, all right. You can feel it. Yes, but which sun? I don't know. Our computer's shot. We're lucky to be alive.
Lucky? No. If it's 3955 AD, oh my God.
All right, as minute 8, we've got 4 living humans, 2 dead. That's not looking so good right now. 1 dead ape, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humanoids. All right, so they've got plenty of oxygen, water, looks like a travel bong they got with them, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
It did look like one, didn't it? That's immediately what I thought. I'm like, what's in that? I want some of that.
You know, there are no law. It's 420 somewhere in the future.
So all we saw, did we see him bringing that out? Because all we saw was the little first aid kit.
Which that would not have fit inside.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I don't know. Yeah.
So what I found interesting is so conclude the Haslund curve. He says a bend in time.
Yeah.
Just to kind of read that it was a bend in time, even though we talked about the last minute, but a reminder that time is now different because of that curve we flew through.
Did they say a bend in time and then deliberately look at the camera and say, not a wrinkle in time, a bend in time? Anyways.
What was interesting is that Brent, you guys, of course, we're describing the minute. When he goes to the fact that we're on, both of us here, breathing, conscious, there's plenty of oxygen and water. Brent is doing this thing where he's kind of looking around.
I know.
Just like,
there's plenty of oxygen, water,
I know you can't see it, Skipper, because you're blind, but look at me look around and let you know that we've got plenty of these things.
We've got plenty of dirt.
Because he can literally see oxygen.
Okay, no, but hang on. Is he perhaps, because the one thing he's not telling us how desolate of an area they're in? Is he perhaps
lying to him?
Lying and looking and going, we've got plenty of that, and he's looking at how desperate.
I see a caravan coming over to rescue us.
Beautiful, beautiful Martian situation
women.
is.
So you think he's trying to give him hope?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
That's the way I read it, is that he was, and that's, when I mentioned last time that the acting was nuanced, that's where I actually came up with this, was he's looking around and he's seeing how desperate of a situation is, and he knows his friend can't see as well. We've got plenty of water.
Okay,
we've got plenty of oxygen. We've got all these things. What we don't have is a way to get out of this hell. So
did they only send 2 people on a rescue mission?
Unless it's, Stuart locked in there again and all mummified.
The breeder.
It looks like 2 people. We have no evidence of anyone else. And again, it's a small capsule.
Yeah, very small.
Just a little bit. He says, we've got plenty of oxygen. Here, let me give you some more oxygen.
Yeah.
We've got so much of it.
Well,
I have to administer some more with this little bong.
Let me give you some of my oxygen.
I found it odd because he doesn't look like he's labored with his breathing. He's been talking. He's fine. He can't see. Giving him oxygen doesn't make him see.
Well, this
Easy Fight Club
oxygen
oxygen
container that he's using has like a silver base, a red stripe, and then a green top.
Yes.
And it's kind of the first introduction of green being used as some type of device other than red and silver and blue stripes.
Yeah.
It just kind of the green really stood out to me.
It's an odd device because, yes, it has the inflatable bag and the little mask so you can get oxygen, but I don't think in the 70s that their oxygen bags would have looked that vastly different. Maybe they were trying to go for a futuristic look.
Sci-fi-ish, yeah.
Because once again, when you put a odd color on it and an odd shape, it looks futuristic.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't seem to depress or anything. It was just some type of canister to administer oxygen. And I found it odd that Skipper's like, if only I could see the sun. And you're like,
why?
Why?
And if you were to be staring at the sun right now, wouldn't you be going blind anyways?
I know.
If only I could go blind again.
But you can feel it, Brent tells us.
Uh-huh.
No
Right,
shit, really?
right.
I'm laying here on my space blanket that's reflecting the sun. Yes, asshole, I can feel it.
Hey, Brent, I'm Captain Obvious, not you.
They do add.
Call me Skipper Obvious.
Skipper does say, but which sun? So they clearly have landed. They've been able to discern time, but they really don't know where they've landed.
Again, they think they've gone to a different planet.
And they're throwing shade again so that they throw the audience off. We know where they are. We know what's going on. We know what's happened. But they're throwing shade in that they don't know where they are.
But again, what kind of crappy space travelers are they if both of them fell into the same trap and landed on the same place not knowing where they are and they can't land?
Well, we don't know
again,
that.
they never told us what the actual mission in the first movie was, except for they're going to be breeding people in the future on what they suspect is a few.
And maybe Haslan's curve is really wrong. Maybe he was doing some LSD when he did it. He got the math wrong. They hit a wrinkle in time, and it throws them off weird.
But the curve,
my
caused them
curve
to
is
crash.
actually a wrinkle, man.
It
Yeah.
caused the spaceship to crash, right? I mean, it wasn't like some type of force that actually made this happen. They didn't just end up in orbit on a planet. It actually caused them to crash.
So what I always what I always wonder. You're on this mission.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you can't. I'm trying to think this through. I promise I'm not just sitting here. You blast off. You go into space. We don't know where you're going, but for some odd reason, you end up kind of stuck in space until you're thrown back at the planet Earth, which has aged thousands of years.
Right.
That doesn't. There's nothing that makes sense about that kind of thinking. The speed of light travel should not. Am I wrong? Does it age the Earth when I travel at speed? I guess it would. Yeah, it would.
Time stops. For Earth, time keeps going forward. So,
but
the farther away you go, the more Earth will age, and you'll stay the same.
So, are they doing like a fly all the way out to the end of the galaxy?
Again, they haven't told us what the mission is supposed to be, so we don't know
for
why.
Theirs, we don't know what their mission is. Yeah, for sure.
We don't know what the first mission was supposed to be.
What were they trying to accomplish by leaving?
To leave all the hell behind and
going into the future.
They were looking for Barbarella so Taylor could have women, lots of women.
So after he was looking for love. So after he administers
in all the wrong places.
There you go.
Hey.
So after he administers the oxygen,
yes.
Brent pulls it away, continues to kind of look around.
He takes a hit himself. One for you, one for me.
No,
you,
two for me.
He pulls it away. He looks around, and then you see him for a second. He's reaches down and touches Skipper's mouth and jaw and face, and you're like, personal space, dude. He literally what are you doing? He's literally massaging his jaw.
He's doing the thing that Taylor did to Nova.
Kinda.
Well, he's actually the Buffalo Bill of this world. He's sizing up.
You should be a really big fat girl.
It was a little intrusive.
Intrusive is just odd. I looked at it and I thought, okay, is he measuring for the oxygen mask? Is it?
Let me massage this oxygen through you, through your jaw.
It'd be nice at that point. Skipper goes, "What the f are you doing, dude?"
I just love that they're Brent's I don't know, our computer is shot. We're lucky to be alive, and I'm like, I have dropped my phone. I've dropped it in the toilet. I've cracked my thing, and largely my computers are okay.
You cracked your thing.
Our computer
must have really hurt.
but I love this. The computer is shot, right?
Yeah. Our computer shot. We're lucky to be alive. They cut to him with an actual gun shooting the computer. Bam, bam, bam. Cut back. I don't know why we crashed, Skipper.
And then Skipper reminds him, no, we're not. We're lucky. It's now 3955 AD.
Yeah.
And on an unknown planet to them at this particular point.
But with the sun.
That's the other unusual thing. I'd be like, No, where the time is wrong. Where are you, loser?
Comparatively, I go back to the first film. Why did they even give a shit about the time?
Was it
time is irrelevant now.
If you
They
miss
were
it
going to
by,
lose it anyway because
Yeah.
of the Haslund curve.
if
Right.
you miss it by a year or 100 years, it doesn't matter. You're still in the fucking future.
Right?
What would they be fine if it had been, I don't know, 2732?
Maybe
Like 3092? Oh, no.
that was his lottery numbers.
I
27.
guess we got to go back to sleep.
Yeah, it was they were prepared for the time change.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were.
But and that's why.
And they knew they were going into the future.
And-
They had sleep pods.
And
to
if they
get
knew
into.
where they were going, did they think they were coming back?
what is its mission?
Well, we that goes back to the early days of Planet of the Apes when Sean and I with the what is the mission? Okay, what space mission do you send people out? And it even become
Deep
relevant.
space.
Deep
Deep space,
space.
yes.
It even become relevant to the people that sent them away anymore because once they're gone, they're gone. You're never going to see them again. They're not doing any experiments that could. Now, you might be able to, let's say you jump light years ahead and you stop and send back a transmission. But how long would that signal take to get there? We tried that. It was like, what are they doing?
It makes no. Yeah.
Everybody that can know about the mission is
Will
dead.
be thousands and thousands of years
But I mean,
dead.
even like a mission to Mars on some level
Mhm.
is going to take so much time. When you come back, you shouldn't expect to be back in like 5 years.
No.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and also at that point, why do you have any family ties? You're cutting
Right.
everything off. It's
Well, people going into the future, yeah, that makes sense. People going to Mars, you want family ties. You want, especially if they're coming back.
But moving outside of the solar system or moving to the end of the solar system, you're at a point where like, no, you're just basically saying I'm going on this mission.
you were
for
never coming
research
back,
or
yeah.
whatever, or to breed or whatever, or to populate, but not to come back.
so in the late 60s, early 70s when these two films were made, maybe the idea of intergalactic deep space travel was so new that that's why it was shocking.
True,
And they were trying
true.
to say, oh, I've lost other people. But now when you look at it, you would definitely think these people stepped onto this thing knowing that
they're never coming back.
and if they do come back, it would significantly have changed. And that also came into where we kind of complained about it, Richard, that it was, if you know you're going to do something that's deep space, light year travel,
Right.
would you not know that technology had advanced on Earth so much that maybe the things you're finding out here are completely irrelevant?
Doesn't even matter.
They've
It's
surpassed
yeah,
you.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You wake up 2000. I mean, can you imagine somebody somehow being put into sleep for 2,000 years ago, literally 2,000 years ago, waking up now thinking, all right, now everybody, I'll be able to give them all my advances, and they would be completely lost in the world they are now.
And I've had modems that after 2 years don't work
Just
anymore.
garbage,
'Cause
yeah.
It's a new technology. So you're telling me that they're not going to just eventually go, oh, they're gone. Throw away that transmitter. We don't want to hear from. We
Or
don't
even
hear
if they
Taylor's
find them, they're
monologues
just a
anymore.
scientific curiosity at that point.
Yeah.
Of this old technology and these people from 2,000 years ago or however long a year.
It would have been nice to have one of them just say, I'm sorry, did you expect somebody to outlive us with what we're doing? Did you know that was kind of one of the trade-offs of this job? But maybe with ANSA, maybe that's on the budget side of it. They don't explain deep space travel to them. Hey, we're going to get you on a plane. You're going to go up here. You're going to smoke some cigars. Don't know where you're going.
Do you think we're being too critical of a movie that's trying to move a concept forward where we're actually breaking down these
Yes.
Oh yeah,
moments?
of course we are. This is a B movie at the time
Right.
that got very popular. So
It was a B movie that was elevated to an A
Yeah.
class just because of the people that worked with it and the success it had.
So they weren't going in there with here's the rigid scientific principles behind our movie.
Right.
Also,
We're just trying to get
Also, the apes speak English, and nobody says tickety boo about that.
we're just trying to get
Tickety-boo.
you to a
Tickety-boo.
point.
We're trying to get you into the movie where we can put people in ape makeup. That's the whole purpose.
We're trying to get you into a post-apocalyptic future in which we're coming back. So all of our breaking down these kind of little inconsistencies are not really relevant to overall. That's
and I think that you
the danger of breaking it down like we are right now.
Yes. And because I was going to say, I think you can look at any film like this where you're going to have to invent a reality to an extent. I'm currently actually reading Logan's Run. It suddenly hit me. I loved that movie from the 70s. I never read the book. I'm sorry?
Renew.
Oh, did I tell you that already?
What? No.
What?
What?
I'm so confused right now. Anyway, so even when you read that book, you begin to look at how the world doesn't. You can pick it apart and you can look and say, that doesn't make sense how you got this, but we're here and I trust in it. I think even when you go to today with Hunger Games, when my daughter became obsessed with that, I could look at that and say, the provinces and all that thing didn't entirely make sense to me what was going on, but I bought the conceit, which you want to talk about what doesn't make sense in that movie. We're going to control society by stealing their children and making them fight each other.
Yeah, why are they not uprising?
If somebody did that to my child, I'd be going, F you, I'm going to kill you. It doesn't make sense from a parental standpoint, but it makes